Hello. Are you well today? It's a glorious day. It's a fourth line day. Gate 35, the gate of change and progress in the line 4, which is called hunger. The lifetime learning says the insatiable appetite for progress. The third line that we looked at yesterday is lower trigram. And the collaboration that was about, it was an internal process. Here in the fourth line, we're in the upper trigram, and it's transpersonal. We've been finding out through our whole exploration of these lines together that the fourth line is about the other. The fourth line is influential. They're very skilled at externalizing the message of the hexagram. The 35-4, the line of hunger, this insatiable appetite for progress. These are people who are fixed on having a new experience. It's almost like they've got to have change. There's got to be progress. If there's nothing new, I'm going to die of boredom. Give me something new. In the exaltation, it says less severe. Symbolized by the phases of the moon, the drive may be obsessive when the moon is full, but like the fading of the moon, the obsession abates. Change for change's sake. This drive lessens with age. Ra called this the werewolf. It must have change now. Actually, I don't think that's what he meant at all. But because what he was saying is that this exaltation is moon-based. And so when the moon is full, these are people who must, they'll go bananas. They must have that experience. And they get into all kinds of situations in order to fuel that drive for a new experience. And it's when the moon is full that their boredom is at its greatest, and when they're more likely to just go out and do something. But as the moon goes through its phases, so does this person's experience. And by the time they're in the midlife, then the obsession with progress has abated somewhat. And after this midpoint, they are more equipped then to be able to say, I've been there, I've done that, I'm not doing it again. In the detriment, we have the abuse of position to accumulate perks with the inevitable retribution of those unfairly deprived. The drive for progress that will ultimately step on toes and lead to recriminations. The collective is not personal. And yet it's really hard not to take things personally because the collective feels personal. Really, we're all sharing everything together. We're all having these experiences together and we're all making it work. And surely we're building relationships and it is personal, isn't it? Except that the mechanic there is saying, nope, not personal. In our drive for progress and change, sometimes we step on toes. We may not even notice that we're doing it. We might elbow someone out of the way, and just, and it might be someone that's helped us up the ladder a little bit. And sometimes it's hard to accept this is perfectly correct for this person if they are working with their strategy and authority, if they're aware of what they're doing. Perhaps they might need to inform other people of what they're doing. This is a manifestor activation, after all, manifestor channel. Other people may be less likely to take it personally if they've been informed beforehand. I mean, not that you're going to say, I'm just going to step on your toes a moment. You might want to move out of the way. But it might be that, look, I'm taking advantage of this situation. Bye. At least you've informed them. You can look in your chart wherever you've got a collective definition, whether it's on the abstract side or the logic side. You look at it carefully. Look at it through the lens of it's actually impersonal. It's really impersonal. And you could examine the ways in which it could look personal, and you could bring some awareness to that so that it may not trip you up one day, or you can spot it when it does. It might save some pain or heartache down the line. The fifth line, grounding here, not the fifth line, the fifth gate in the fourth line is called the hunter. And this is a very significant fourth line because fourth lines have the capacity as opportunists to be able to externalize the pattern and to have influence in what they're externalizing. And the hunter is grounding the hunger. This line has the lifetime learning of waiting as a guarantee of survival. And of course, this is a sacral gate. And Ra said that this is one of those lines that every generator should read because it's about survival as yourself, surviving as yourself. And really, this is a lesson for all of us, regardless of our type. And perhaps it's a message that does help to ground the hunger of the 35. If you're doing what you do because it's correct for you and just you, then you will survive it as yourself, which is no guarantee of what kind of experience you will get. But at least whatever you get, you're meeting it as yourself. Mars moves into gate 3 at 8:53. Difficulty at the beginning, the sacral gate, the gate in the channel of mutation, individual, it's the pulse, the on-off energy, and remember it's a format. We looked at this in gate 16, that format energy, bringing its establishing ways, or it's put that, establishing the way that, that the circuit operates through this energy format. And they're all, the format gates are generator because they're all between the root and the sacral center. So gate 3, it's the ability to establish order so that the mutative energy can bring something new into the world. And when there is a clear sacral response, that's going to work perfectly. It's going to be correct. There are bursts of energy and there are periods of inertia. And this can be very unsettling. And Mars brings an immature energy, as we know, and it might struggle a little bit with this on-off, do I, don't I? Yes, I can. No, I can't. Change happens on its own. Does it help to remember this? We don't have to do anything. In fact, we can't do anything. There isn't anything for us to do. Is it Wu Wei? I think it's Wu Wei. Everything gets done without us doing it. We're just here to watch the show. The moon is still in gate 2 in the G center with its direction, and then it begins its journey through the throat gates, beginning as always with gate 23 at 1442. This is the gate of assimilation, the voice of I know or not. And this is a gate that can have an awareness and understanding that leads to the acceptance of diversity. Individuality, all about diversity. Correct timing, as we know, it's crucial here, as always, the right timing, but also the right language, the language which adequately expresses that inner knowing. Gate 8 is next at 14 minutes past midnight, BST. I haven't said that for a little while. All my timings are in BST. This is the gate of contribution, which can have a really deep need to contribute something. And it's not just anything, it needs to be something unique, and it brings it to the collective, attracting attention for it, which can then lead to the creation of an identity based on your own unique contribution, because the 8 point down towards gate 1 in the G center. And then we have gate 20. This is the gate of the now, and that's at 9:48. So just before tomorrow's transit comes out, 9:48. The gate of the now, the gate of contemplation, and the only existential gate that we have in the body graph, not concerned with past or future, but contemplating and being absorbed and awake in the now. This is a throat gate. So there is the ability to articulate these qualities. Doesn't necessarily have the ability to act on these qualities unless there's a connection to a motor somewhere in the design. So what is your focus today? Have you been assimilating spontaneous insights? Are you waiting for the right time to be invited to share your unique knowing? Do you know you have a contribution to make? Can you feel that? And are you just waiting for the invitation to share it? Or perhaps the invitation will be to share your wisdom in the now. Regardless of your type, it seems the moon wants us to wait today, all of us. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. If you have any comments, then please do leave them below. I always read them, and I usually respond. If I haven't responded to a comment you've left, then please nudge me, because I would like to respond to whatever you leave me. And that's me for today. So tomorrow we have line 5 in gate 35. Until then, go gently.